Yeah, hello everybody. Welcome to this monthly meeting. We make the special summit now dedicated for International Women's Day, a global women summit. I will say a few words and then we have a special guest, William Haines. He have a very rich history of teaching peace. As everybody was asking for peace tools, we will have it now today. Just wait a few seconds. I will turn off PowerPoint presentation. And okay, wait a second. Um, and I just want to say a short report from previous month. And previous month we had a conference about interreligious as it was interreligious UN week. So we make this conference was quite interesting. And also we had with one peace ambassador English for peace, free lessons, was 1 month, was very interesting also. And we give 100 new peace ambassador certificate. And was very interesting too experience. As this summit is going on, more people will join, supposed to join, and we have this million rallies of hope, 10 representatives from our group. Just when we have common efforts, we have good results. Okay, I want to show a short presentation. For those who are new, did you see my screen? Okay, wait a second.
Yes.
Please write in chat. Okay, good. So welcome. I'm myself, those who are new, Nicolae Cirpala, a writer, Uniting People Organization. So I said about our results for this. And also we organized this summit for International Women's Day. And just to congratulate women's mothers and sisters and thank them very much for for everything. And we will have from starting from this week for 3 months we will have a lot of conferences. So stay in touch, invite many more people. That short report for now from my side, and I will invite the special guest, William Haines. He have a very good, powerful presentation. Just everybody turn off your microphone, and there will be just William. Okay. Okay,
Can
William,
I share my?
now is your turn. Wait a second, and please try now to turn on your presentation. It's supposed to work.
Okay. All right. Looks like it will work. Okay. So good. Well, over here it's good afternoon, but some of you it might be good morning. Some of you it might be good evening. Wherever you are in the world, it's so wonderful to be able to communicate and to be able to meet each other through Zoom. So I've been thinking making friends with people across the world that I've never ever had the opportunity to meet or to be able to talk to normally. So I'm hoping my internet connection is going to work okay, because the little sign just came up to say it's a bit unstable. As I said, I'm just trying to do it through my mobile. And I've only got one bar because of where I happen to live. But yes, as Nicolae said, it's Mother's Day, Women's Day today, International Women's Day today. And I remember when I lived in Russia for 7 years, it was always a big occasion. And people used to give flowers to all the women, their wives and their mothers and their daughters and grandmothers. And it's very, very important to remember that there's only one thing that every single human being has in common. We all have mothers. Nobody doesn't have a mother. And it's from our mother that we come. We grew up in our mother's womb, and that's from where we got all the nourishment. So that when we were born, however many kilograms it was, all of our physical body came entirely from our mother. The father's contribution was just half, was just one sperm, which contributed half the DNA, which of course that DNA multiplied, but it was all from the mother that we got the nourishment. And of course, after we were born, we're nourished at our mother's breast, and we learn our mother's tongue, and we learn from our mother about how to become a real human being. And so even within the family, it's often mothers who are very important in fulfilling the role of peacemakers within the family, amongst the children, with the relatives. It's often the mothers and the wives who are the ones who organize the social life, remember people's birthdays, remember this, remember that, and always trying to establish and maintain peace within the family. Because mothers and women generally are very, very concerned about relationships. They're very relationally organized. And so I was very happy that Nicolae invited me to talk about this a little bit today. And so I want to talk, title is Mother of Peace. I'll talk a little bit about that, and also about a little bit about a particular project I'm doing to try to forward this kind of idea. So this is a quote from a book written by someone called Hak Jahan, or Mother Moon. It's called Mother of Peace, and I'll show you the title in a moment. This is one little passage from it. So she said, in our peace messages, Father Moon and I, so Father Moon is her husband. He passed away and died a few years ago. But anyway, when he was alive, they used to travel around the world doing peace work together. Very powerful couple working together to do work to bring about peace. And one of the things they used to do was to give talks to many thousands and even tens of thousands of people. So in our peace messages, Father Moon and I advocated that all humanity participate in the cross-cultural marriage blessing. The cross-cultural marriage blessing is by far the best way to restore humanity to become the children of God. Grandparents from enemy nations or religions will unite through the beautiful grandchildren they share in common. And so this is her vision, and actually it was their common vision together. That in order to bring about peace, then you bring about peace not through greater organization, not through laws, not through government action and political action, but actually peace, the foundation of peace has to be love. And the foundation of love has to be love between a husband and wife and within a family, parents and children. And of course, you get a husband and wife who may have the same nationality, the same religion, the same culture, and the same traditions. And then they grow up in this kind of world and they see people from other cultures, other nationalities, other religions or traditions as being other, as being different, and sometimes then as being an enemy. And that's how boundaries and borders become created to separate them from us. And then sometimes people think, okay, we need to get rid of the them and the us, and we need to make them us. And that's what happens with imperialism. You get one country invades another country and tries to force the people in that other country to speak their language, to adopt their religion, and to adopt their culture, and basically to eradicate their national identity and religious and cultural identity. And that's often the way that empires work and function. So again, that doesn't really bring about peace. All these empires, they all collapse eventually because it really is not sustainable. And so Father and Mother Moon, growing up in Korea, they experienced a lot of, they experienced the occupation of Korea, their own country, by Japan for 40 years, went through an incredible suffering. And so there's a lot of antagonism, a lot of resentment, a lot of Koreans had towards Japanese people. Japanese people looked down on Koreans as being inferior and a lower race. And so Father and Mother Moon's, one of the main concerns is how to resolve this incredibly intense relationship between Korea and Japan. How to bring about lasting peace, how to bring about lasting respect. And you could do that, politicians can make treaties, but that's not enough at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you have to have the people living in each country, loving each other, respecting each other, appreciating each other. And one of the best ways to do that is to encourage people to get married to each other. And so starting, I think it was in 1988, Father and Mother Moon started to sponsor international marriages between Koreans and Japanese people. Usually it was Korean men and Japanese women, but sometimes it's the other way around as well. And then of course, going to another country is very, very intense. Because even in an ordinary marriage, when you marry your husband, when you get married, your husband or wife, they come from a different family with different traditions, different ways of running the household, different ways of bringing up children, different ways of cooking. And often there's lots of arguments, which is the best way, or even which is the right way. And of course, there isn't a right way. There are many ways that work. And so one has to say, okay, we're getting married, so we want to create a family which draws together and builds upon the best of each other's family traditions. Yeah. And then you bring together, you create a couple, which is a bringing together, not just marriage then, it's not just bringing together two individuals, but also bringing together two families and also bringing together two lineages. And even within the same country, sometimes that's really difficult. You get people from different parts of a country or different class backgrounds, different educational backgrounds, different social traditions. And it's all marriages are a compromise, trying to bring and compromise and going the extra mile. Yeah, so a compromise is not just meeting in the middle. A compromise is when you meet over here, yes, in the 1990s. And it was there to try and encourage young people to be able to understand people from very different kind of backgrounds, different religious and national backgrounds, so they could start to appreciate and respect people from very different kinds of backgrounds. And then I was doing that for 7 years. Then some years ago, about 7 years, 6 years, 5 years ago, I just happened to be going to Israel for a particular project, and someone called got in touch with me. He's a Palestinian educator. Before I went, said he'd like to work together with me on a project. And so I said, okay, I'm going to Israel. Why don't we meet up? So we met up in a hotel in Jerusalem, and we shared each other's stories about the work, about our lives, the work we've been doing, and just so struck by the many different ways in which we overlap. And then I gave him copies of these books to read. And then I thought that I didn't expect to see him again. Anyway, so he read these books, and I read the first one, and he said, this book is exactly what we need in Palestine. There's so many young people in Palestine because of the situation there. They have lots of mental health issues and a lot of craziness going on there with stabbings. And he said, this is exactly what we need. So if it's possible, I'd like to carry on sharing. This in Russia had these kind of goals, and there's a certain logic, self-development, also had chapters in there about the life and teachings of founders of traditional religions of Russia, Moses and Judaism, Jesus and Christianity, and Muhammad and Islam and Buddha and Buddhism and Confucianism, so people could learn from and respect different faiths and learn to understand each other. Also a way to combat extremism. And published in several different languages, Tajikistan, Azerbaijan. And then I said, I met this person, Garsan Abdullah, and this is his NGO in Palestine, Israel, and he lives in East Jerusalem and Ramallah. And set up this program to promote human rights and peace education. And so he wanted to translate these books into Arabic and have them distributed. And so raise some money for that. This is him here and his wife. So his wife, she's in Anglican school in Jerusalem. And so she translated the books from English into Arabic. And then he is an educator, so he edited them. So they felt like they weren't a translation, but they actually, you know, felt like they were authentic. And so through this way of introducing these kind of concepts, these kind of course into schools, Arab schools in Israel, but also schools in Palestine. So this is the first one here, was published just a few years ago, because he had a conference for education in non-Jewish schools in Israel. And then he was able to distribute these books to 1,000 Muslim, Christian, Druze schools in Israel. And this is the second book, which is focusing upon marriage and family, which is what I talked about earlier on, the significance and importance of marriage and family education. And this is the person who's responsible for all the libraries in Palestine, the West Bank. So he came with his pickup truck to put these books, all the schools in Palestine. And then at the end of 2019, I started holding workshops for teachers to start teaching these books, teaching this course in schools on the West Bank. And then we're supposed to have larger courses last year, but of course, because of lockdown, we weren't able to do that. But now we're planning to do this as lockdown is eased and anyway, the vaccination program in Israel is to introduce this course into schools in the West Bank, and then also hopefully into Gaza, and then also into other Arab countries as well. So for me, all of this is inspired by Father and Mother Moon, this incredible vision they had of bringing peace between different nationalities, different races, different religions, different cultures, and trying to make bridges so people can learn from each other. It doesn't mean everybody becomes the same, not at all, because the beauty is in differences. But we have to learn to respect and value differences and to learn from them. And then when you have so many differences, people living together peacefully, then that's an incredibly beautiful kind of society and world in which to live. So it's not about imperialism, making everybody the same. It's about peace, people living together at peace with each other. And the foundation of peace, of course, is love. Foundation of peace in marriage is love, within the family is love, and within the society ultimately is love as well. Okay, so I'd like to stop sharing my screen here.
No, we can't hear you still.
Okay, maybe she couldn't hear. I will.
No, because I can only ask her to mute.
Let's invite Rania Lampou. Could you give your presentation? You have very good and interesting.
Okay. Hello, greetings from Greece, from Athens to everyone. My name is Rania Lampou. I'm a STEM instructor, global educator, and neuroeducation researcher. Currently, I'm working at the Greek Ministry of Education, at the Directorate of Educational Technology and Innovation, and at the Greek Astronomy Space Company. And I'm also Global Peace Ambassador. Have won so far 50 international awards for my teaching projects and my humanitarian international projects. I'm the founder of 5 international humanitarian projects implemented mostly in Africa and India. And today, International Women's Day is coming up on 8 March. While circumstances are different this year because of the corona pandemic, it is still a day to celebrate women around the world, their achievements, their awareness about women's equality and more. We can all try to call out gender bias and inequality. Collectively, we can all help create an inclusive world. So women in business, women in politics, women who provide support to the civil society, all are part of the global mosaic of building a global society. Societies need women leaders making history, leading the charge for innovation and progress, global progress, And leading is by definition change making. So my message to all women is to have faith in yourself, follow your dreams and your passion, because all women can be change makers. It's just a matter of unlocking it. The so-called think manager, think male uh, stands alone. So as 2021 unfolds, we can add a new one slogan: think leader, think lady. Women need, of course, empowerment, a multidimensional process encompassing changes in the political, social, economic spheres of life, and all these dimensions of empowerment are closely related. As I said before, I'm the founder of 5 international projects, and this week I launched a new one, which is called Gender-Based Violence, Why Peace is Much Better Option. It's about a STEM. The originality of this project is that it's about STEM. STEM is the acronym of Science, Technology, Engineering, Mathematics. So it's a project which combines STEM education with gender bias, gender-based violence awareness. So this project aims at raising gender-based violence awareness among students of 11 to 13 years old in Nigeria. And of course, it could be extended in Africa. So the final outcome, this project, of course, is based on 5 out of 17 United Sustainable Development Goals, such as good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, reduced inequalities, peace, justice, and strong institutions. And the final outcome of this project is actually will be the strengthening of the idea of peace among members of societies that experience conflict, especially gender-related conflict. The situation in Nigeria is tragic, and this school-based intervention can promote the gender equality and prevent violence against the women by challenging stereotypes that give men power over women. Apart from this, I'm also fighting for the equality between women and men in the field of natural sciences. So I want to sensitize my students, children in general, make them aware of the importance of the fact that women can actually have equal opportunities with men in developing themselves as scientists. So I created with my students a very popular video which is called Women Physicists, from Marie Curie's time to the present day. You can find it on YouTube, it's free. It was awarded in the international competition Diversity in STEM. It was aired on the European School Radio and the Greek television channel on the International Women's Day. And I actually want to say that women should be the center of attention and need, as I said before, empowerment, because of course there has been a very significant progress so far, but a lot needs to be done. We can do a lot more for achieving gender equality. Thank you very much for your attention.
True.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rania. We want to invite Luisa. Luisa, could you speak now?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Luisa Po. I'm here in Turkey, but I'm a Filipino. I'm from Philippines, and I am the founder of the Single Mother Association of the Philippines. And right now we have Orange Women. This is under the UN Women. And we have also Orange Women in Pakistan, in Kenya, in Uganda, and of course Brazil, and of course Philippines. Right now, we're like, for example, in Ghana, which was headed by our David Beblewu, they are making this abuse women. Some women or some fathers rape their daughters, and right now, so that there will be no conflict like this, we try to give them a livelihood program, which is making liquid soap, and we're going to market it into different communities. Now, this also Orange Women, we have another organization, the Notebook Organization, wherein this is a mobile library. We go to villages to educate the women. And these are abused women, but if they went to the, for example, they go to the policeman and complain, nobody, they are just ignored. So we see to it that this organization of ours will keep the women busy so that they will have self-esteem and have direction in their life. So hopefully with your organization, I don't make promises, but I'm committed to help to collaborate with your peace organization into women, because this is a very important thing, because almost Africa there are many abused women in Africa. And since I am a correspondent of Natural TV, which is aired over 47 countries in Africa, so there will be a show regarding the Orange women, and we will give you the link for that. And hopefully we can of course, Nicole, the peace organization, your peace organization. And I can relate to Mr. Father Moon, because in the Philippines, every fourth year, they have a event in Philippines held in Manila Hotel, and I am the one covering the event. So I made also the interfaith one family under one God. So we are together creating peace, at the same time helping these women, abused women. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Luisa. Uh, Thank you. We want to invite another great young woman from the East, Shehrish Khan. Could you turn on your microphone? From Pakistan, a great leader there. Shehrish. Tiago, could you try to turn on Shehrish? She wants to say something, very powerful message for peace.
Just ask it her.
Okay.
She need to enable.
Maybe she is busy now. Is anybody else who want to speak? Please write in chat. And Tiago, could you say a few words now, since your microphone is open? Something to congratulate women, mothers, sisters.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course, right? I mean, that's the most important. No, first of all, I think especially due to the situation, I also wanted to give like a brief about the situation with Zoom so that everybody's aware. Because unfortunately, something that happened, it was my first time actually that happened. That unfortunately was with William. The most important thing that I want to say, I don't know if everybody here have like a Zoom account, like a professional one. That's one thing. I'm just trying to look here for the ways to do, and I just wanted to say that whatever you do, especially Nicolae, since you are sharing with a lot of people, unfortunately, you cannot really prevent 100%, because if they have the access to the link, they can do that. Two things that people can do is, of course, create a password. And then if you see somebody wants to access, you send the person the password. And another thing is that you can actually create on Zoom, on your account, waiting rooms, so that you can accept people. That's the only way to prevent it, because unfortunately, since you share to people, it is very difficult to to say. So yes, okay, let's stop the thing. About Women Day, actually, I would like to talk something very off my field. I actually support a fundraising, but I'm gonna talk a little bit about my I did a thesis about Angola, which it was actually very challenging because I did online since I'm in Sweden, and unfortunately I couldn't travel there. And it was very good because I tried to check a situation which a lot of people are not aware in the country, that are child soldiers in the region, and they have a problem there, and they didn't have like a really concrete number about how many child soldiers were in the time in Angola. By the way, the war in Angola ended in 2002, But the most important thing that I tried to do, which was very, very challenging, by the way, because of course I'm doing everything online. And just to explain, I do speak Portuguese because I'm from Brazil originally. I tried to do like a historical trace, and I discovered that unfortunately there is not many documents on that. There was like organization that was working there. I enjoyed that work in the time of the war in Angola, that they were trying to support not just girls, but also boys to perspective, try to unite Western perspective with cultures, etc. Right, the religious mentality, and they could interrogate a lot of people, but there was a lot of problems in the time because, as everybody knows, like when you have like a war situation, you have the Nicolae, somebody have open, not mute. I think I lost the access. I don't know if Julius is listening. Can you mute Julius, please? I cannot mute you. Thank you. Okay. So the thing that I noticed that nowadays they should be around their 30s. So they should be around my age. I'm 29, by the way. And the thing that happened now is that Angola, they created a law to give a support for the people that were soldiers in that specific time, 2002, in Angola. And by the way, they had a 27 years conflict there. The thing is that they only consider adults. And since they didn't have any track from child on that time, there is a really like a huge taboo at the moment to really discuss about the matter. And I saw that, I mean, unfortunately, this is just things that I found on the news because it started on the time that we get the COVID. So they implement this law recently. And of course, as everybody may think, they are trying to focus more on the COVID aspect than things that happened in the past, because also there is a lot of taboo to talk. The problem that's happening now is that did reintegrate, for example, women, but one of them, she had like a status in the government, so they kind of could recognize her. And the other one, she was really the only person after all the programs that she was considered a soldier, and she was already a woman, she wasn't a child. So the thing that I noticed, especially with my thesis, that like sometimes we focus a lot on a lot of aspects, but we also forget about the past. And in this situation in Angola, it's actually a challenge because since they don't really have a number, the number that I could get is that around 8,000 girls were child soldiers with the two spectrums of the government, remembering that Angola, they had a Marxist one and they had one that was more right-wing conservative, but both sides use it. So that's even not, like going political, nothing. Both sides also have the circumstance. But the problem is that a lot of them are difficult to reach. The vast majority of the material that I found was people that work in the matter, and nowadays they are around their 70s, 60s. So it's very sad because it's a subject that a lot of people don't really cover. I think that there is a lot of taboo as well because it comes to war, it comes also to rape and things like Luisa mentioned. And yes, I wrote about that, and I saw that still today they have this, and a lot of women, they're trying to apply, they're trying to justify their situation that they had documents, but it is very difficult, and a lot of them, they just went to like very far regions, far from the capital, Luanda, and became even worse to track them. So even like my research was very, very difficult. And yes, I actually found somebody that maybe knows somebody who was involved there, but it became something that it's forgotten. And yes, it's a challenge. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about it because it was interesting, to do stuff like this. And especially here in Sweden, like Angola, for example, is a country that unfortunately a lot of people don't really focus. I don't know why, if it's the language or etc. But I mean, since I also from Brazil, I kind of like feel the feeling towards them because we speak the same language. And yes, it is difficult situation. So I wanted also to bring that. I know it's a bit dark, like Maluisa, but I think also we should discuss about this. manage a better world for everybody, right? But yeah, that's it. I hope I didn't make quite that much sad here.
Yeah, thank you
But
very
yeah,
much,
just want to share my
Tiago.
experience. Thank you.
Let's invite Shehrish. Shehrish, we want to hear from you.
Hello, can you listen me?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, very good.
Thank you. Actually, my internet not working, so that's why.
I see.
But you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we hear you. Please say a few words for
Okay.
International Women's Day.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. I am Cherish. I am from Pakistan, and I'm youth activist climate, and I promote tourism, sports, women, and today topic is Women Day and peace. So happy Women Day. The day of the Women Day is to purpose to appreciate the females and recognize their effort, because in any country, in any world, women do work a lot to build the family, to build the country, build the nation. The best part is the women. So we must appreciate women and give to space and appreciate, encourage, because women is very beautiful, wonderful, intelligent. So I like to say this, and about the peace, nobody can bring peace until ourselves change. So we must first we change ourselves to do and appreciate other, don't jealousy to other. If someone play good, so we appreciate, and if we are not do this, and don't jealous and try again, and we learn. And the m- must I say peace is a learning. If we are not learning, so we are not in the peace. In world, everyone need peace, but people not trying to how to get peace. So be happy and love to each other. Don't hate and don't criticize to other. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shehrish. Yeah, let's invite now Hashim Yusuf. Maybe he could say few words if internet is okay for him. Okay, we hear you.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Please, am I audible? Please, am I audible? Hello? Can you hear me?
Okay,
Please, can
so
you hear me?
it's disappearing.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we hear
Please,
you.
can you hear me?
Message for peace for women.
Okay, thank you very much, Nick. First of all, I would like to greet each and everyone, especially to Nick, the organizers, and all participants. I'm going to say something about women in Africa. Particularly, I'm in Ghana, and I know much about African affairs if it comes to women in Africa. My problem is it will surprise you to know that in Ghana or in much of Africa, a woman needs only $20 to become an entrepreneur. But for her to get that money to start that business is not easy. So I'm appealing and I'm sending a message to all over the world so that Africa in particular, women have been marginalized. They are not in a good position for themselves. They cannot speak for themselves. They cannot stand on their rights. They are totally backdoor. Everything is about the men. So to empower the women, at least they have to get some capital to start their own business so that they can have a say, especially in their homes or in their communities. African women don't need billions of or millions of dollars or millions of cities. They need only $20 or $30 or $50 to start business. Some of them are into pure water selling. Some are hawking on the street. Some are selling on the roads. These are very laudable trades that they venture in, and they make a lot of money, but the capital is not there. So I'm thinking that all over the world they have to set up a micro system of finance to women all over the world, so they can stand up and do something on their own. They can be an entrepreneur on their own, so that they will not solely depend on the men for them to be relegated back to the door. They cannot stand on their right. They cannot do anything. So that is my message, and I'm greeting each and everyone. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Yusuf. Hashim Yusuf. Okay, Clive, could you say a few words? Clive Donnelly.
Our year's theme for celebrating International Women's Day, it's International Women's Day in Leadership. And I would like to say that, as we all know, COVID-19, the coronavirus has impacted more disproportionate impact on women, because women, they're more vulnerable in the communities. And we could see this during
Clive, did you disappear somehow?
You're muted.
No, he is unmuted.
Also, his voice disappeared.
Yeah. Seems like it's very low internet connection. Is there anybody else who want to speak? Final words? Or I think maybe you could close now, and you could send any presentation, any yes. Yes.
I was saying we've seen Argentina made a disproportionate impact on women and girls, and it increased more the vulnerability. And so we peace ambassadors and people who are in the peace, we should bring people in table of civilization, try to clamp down the gender inequalities, because our global fragilities, they have been further. And with the rising of gender-based violence through the locks, and this year's theme on International Women's Day, as we celebrate women, we have to celebrate the tremendous efforts women and girls are doing in shaping the future of our economy, from climate crisis to injustices, and we have to put more efforts coming together against sexists. This is why we rally day for gender equality, and that's for a future for all of us to in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Kamala, could you speak a few words? Anybody else who don't speak yet?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. As I told you, my name is Matthew Hoffier. I'm for West International Tourism Cultural Education Foundation, WISA. And basically we use, as I told you, we use tourism, culture, and education to drive 17 SDG. And basically, women play a very vital role in the area of the development. And basically, I think is that most things we need, especially in developing countries, is to see and to look about the fundamental needs of people. And for example, we have to look about finding in terms of their social need and what will be their economic interest. We have to look about the area, looking what we can do, especially to empower people, especially young ladies, young youth, at the very grassroots. So what we do is that we promote a kind of a change-based program whereby young people can truly have an access basically for informations, and two, they can truly have access to a small scale businesses, especially people at the very grassroots. And we do this holistically, we call it women security and security of the planet. You see, these are the things we do presently. Presently now I'm in Kenya, but I'm from Nigeria. We are going to have some programs too in Nigeria coming up. We're running as an academy. So the program in Nigeria too is going to take in form of academy. We are going to do one with agriculture. We are going to do another one whereby we promote education, informal education through academy. People will come. There are going to be a lot of debate. So by God's grace, I would like to see if there we can truly have this partnership and collaboration. And again, I will be able to send you more information on what we are doing. Basically, we are building our organization geographically. We are almost in 10 countries now, structure where we are putting in place. With time, I will be able to forward most of the things we do to you people as we progress. Thank you so much. And I thank you for fighting for humanity and to see that what we achieve 2030 agenda for sustainable development and we achieve global peace. God bless you all.
Yeah, thank you very much, Matthew. Good. Yeah. I think most people said that they have connection issues. Let's close now. Yeah, I agree with everybody that now is coming new woman age, and behind any great man is a great woman. So let's do it together. Man and woman, happy families, happy communities, countries, and the world. Congratulate one more time. Yeah, all women, sisters, and mothers. And let's turn on your microphones now and screen and say bye-bye to everybody. You could say in your language. Stay happy, healthy, especially in this pandemic time. Just take care of this of health is very important in this time. Make morning exercise and keep also not only physically but psychologically also good health, mind and body unity. So let's say bye-bye everybody. Please turn on your microphone and
Bye.
Bye.
all the best.
Bye. God bless.
Nicholas, please invite everyone for all the programs here continuous.
Thank
you.
Thank you very much.
God bless you. Thank you. God bless.
Anytime contact with Coco Solutions, let's do it.
Bye bye bye. Khuda Hafiz.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Just invite everyone for all our activities, not only we can see the different people today. So invite all of them in future activities also. So we can get more people,
Yeah, okay.
All right. Fun.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you, every one of you. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. Stay happy, healthy. Okay, I turn off now. Contact